What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about the ROG Ally, the new handheld coming from Asus that is 1080p 120 hertz, which is amazing. That they put 1080p 120 on a handheld, and it's powered by a AMD APU. They're claimed to be the best APU they've come out to date, which makes sense because it's a software computer company. They're supposed to bring out the next greatest thing every freaking release, so of course it is the best unit. Um, I just think that's kind of funny how they say that. Oh, they wanted to say our latest. And well, it's the same thing, right? It just sounds weird to me because it's always the same thing. It's always the latest. It's always the greatest thing. Whatever. Let's get into this product. So this thing is made by Asus, and I'm super congested. I don't know why. I hope I'm not sick. Um, but it's great. 1080p, 120 hertz, new APU. My biggest thing about this device is that it's how they're selling it to you that it is gonna do 1080 120 hertz in the games you play. This game will not do 1080 120 hertz in any mainstream first person shooter like Apex, Call of Duty, things like that. Fortnite more than likely won't do a 1080p 120. And like definitely games not like Cyberpunk, your Assassin's Creeds, your God of Wars, things like that. You're just not gonna get 1080p 120 hertz. So maybe sports games, maybe Forza if you dumb down the settings. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna get that 1080 120 hertz on a APU, regardless if it is their best APU, because I doubt an APU that is out now is better than a discrete graphics card like a 1080 or a 5700 XT, which definitely couldn't do 1080 120 for sure, not on any first person shooters. But yeah, it's not going to happen. So why are you selling a 1080p 120 hertz screen when you're not going to be able to do that in most titles people want to do that in? But that's more like me inferring. I play Played Up on my Steam Deck, and I'm sure the Steam Deck probably could get close to 1080 120 maybe that game. But like if you're you know what I mean, like most people don't, like when you're selling this they're thinking AAA, right? Or I think they're thinking AAA. They're not talking about your Graveyard Keeper like me. Even though the Graveyard Keeper does kind of tax the Steam Deck quite a bit, to be honest. um Not that it can, now that it's overclocked. Guys, this overclock is crazy, and I think I just should be releasing that video today, the episode 1 of the overclocking. It is hot. It gets really hot. Good thing your boy is really good at modding a Steam Deck, because if it wasn't for that, that Steam Deck would be dead now. Be absolutely dead. But let's get back to the Asus ROG Ally. I think it's a great product. I think it's good. It's awesome, and they're claiming that it is going to be around that $650 to $700 range, which I think is going to be really, really good for Asus. Because it'll be cheaper than any of the GDP wins. The Iron Neo, I think it's cheaper than that as well. It's a good to do that, because no one's gonna beat Steam Deck on pricing. Steam Deck's $399, $649 for the most expensive model. I think them just touching the highest price model is a good thing. I think they're going to sell a lot of units for that, and they're also partnering with Best Buy for that. So I think it's going to be really good for them to do that. And so but I guess the discussion is it going to beat the Steam Deck? I think that's what is Asus ROG Ally versus Steam, which handheld could win. I'll tell you right now, Steam's going to win. Steam Deck is going to win. Steam Deck's going to win 100%, because a couple things. Cheaper, right? And people that would want a handheld probably already have one, right? And thirdly is price. It's still more expensive than a Steam Deck. You know, like, did I say that? Oh, I just said that was the first thing I said. What am I saying about? So I don't. I guess I only have two things. Okay, cool. So, um, definitely, Steam's gonna win. But here's the funny thing that I think is what Valve wants to happen. Valve probably wants ROG to fucking beat them. Valve probably really wants Asus to take over because everyone I believe Steam is losing money for each one of these things. So like they can get away with that to lose money because everyone's going to buy games on Steam. If you're a Windows player, you're buying games on Steam. Like at least a majority of your library is on Steam. So I don't so they can lose money. I think they get about 30% of every sale that they get. So that's pretty insane to me. But yeah, like that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think Apple gets I think 15% or something like 20%. Still, like that's good. So they can lose money and they probably would rather someone else sell the game sell the console for them and then them just sell the games. Because remember, this thing is a Windows device. It's a Windows device. So people are gonna buy games on Steam. Like it's how it's gonna get. Who's gonna go Epic Launcher? Are you serious? You gonna get the Epic Launcher? Oh man, the only people that have Epic Launcher is just to play Fortnite, and we all know that crowd is dwindling. But it's a cool thing. Here's a little ad spot for it. I'm sure you've already seen it. That's not even it. I don't even know where I'm at right now. Oh yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, it looks freaking cool, yo. I'm not gonna lie, this thing looks badass. I definitely want one. Am I gonna get one? Maybe. Maybe if the pricing is at the 650 range. All I know, this thing looks cool. I think it looks freaking awesome, and I think it would be awesome to have one. Um. Okay. That's it. And so I definitely I don't think it's gonna beat out the Steam Deck whatsoever. But I guess the real point is should you be excited about this? I think you should because I think it's always good to have competition in the market. It's only gonna it's I think Steam Deck already has its place because it's not low price to performance range. This is going to fall in the middle, and I think that middle ground has not been clenched by anybody yet. I think the only other middle ground is a Switch. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like that's the middle ground right now, and it's nowhere near as good as a Steam Deck. But GPDs are gone. The Aya Neo is probably going to be a fight, but Asus is going to beat them out. Asus is going to beat them all out. So there's always gonna it's gonna go if it this is how it's gonna go. It's gonna go Steam Deck and then Asus, and then everyone else is just gonna lose more and more market share as Asus comes in there. But with that said, would I buy one? Like I mentioned earlier, if it was the right price, I would buy one. But my biggest takeaway is that 1080 at 120 hertz is just kind of useless in a device like that, just because you're not going to be able to push it. You're not going to be able to get that type of that performance in most of the games that you probably want to play. You couldn't even do farming sim like that. I tried with a 1080, no, a 5700 XT. It almost like blew up. That thing got so hot. That guy got hot. But yeah, that's the problem with something like this. Like you're just not gonna push that. You're not gonna be able to push that 1080p 120. That's why I think this Valve just went with the 900. I believe it's 900p and it's 60 hertz, and they were just like, let's just save money here, and that way we could sell the product for less, entice more customers, lose less money, and that's I think that's exactly what they want to do. And unfortunately, with ROG, they're not like Steam. They have to sell the device. Steam can just sell the games. They make 30%. So I that's my take on it. But let's say this: like, if you're a Steam Deck owner, should you be excited and think about transitioning? I think just no, just for the same reasons why I just said, like it's going to be more expensive, but mainly is you're just not going to get the real benefits of that 1080p 120 hertz screen. I just don't think you are. And if you are looking at something like that, you already have a Steam Deck, I would suggest freaking getting a graphics card and hooking that up to the Steam Deck, or buying another console or maybe a laptop or something, because at that point it's kind of like, why don't you just get something that can do 120 hertz at 1080p? I mean, just get something that can do that, and rather than something that might be able to do that with some games. You see what I'm saying here? So definitely wouldn't recommend this if you're not a Steam Deck owner, if you're a Steam Deck owner already. But if you're not and you're on the fences, honestly, and you have $650 to burn, I'd get this thing in a heartbeat. I'd get this thing in a heartbeat. But if you already have a Steam Deck, what's the point? Just go ahead and buy a graphics card, hook that up to that, or possibly just get a whole new PC or console. That's my point. But other than that, guys, I guess that's my take on it. Hopefully, you guys like this kind of videos. I kind of like doing this kind of stuff. It's fun to me to talk about crap and rant about things. So I enjoy it. But if you have anything that you want me to talk about or you want my opinion on, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Maybe that can make it into the next episode. But other than that, guys, if you like this video, hit that like. If you loved it, hit that subscribe. And the new episode of the overclocking should be coming out pretty soon. That thing is a beast, and it's running a very hot. 28 TDP is so much power that the charging brick can't keep up with that. Meaning, if you're at 100% charge and you run it at 28 TDP, even though you're plugged in, you're slowly losing battery. It's not enough, and that Steam Deck gets spicy hot. But other than that, guys, please, I don't know. I just thinking about how hot it was. It was crazy. The fan just ramped up out of nowhere and it was locked. It's weird. It's